I think it really is overlooked sometimes just how important teams and athletics are, particularly in a small town where you have such a divergence between people that are from, for example, a logging background, a mechanic background, a professional background. It's such a little miniature melting pot here. And that's reflected in the kids you have as well. And in a team situation, they really have to get along. They have to work as a team, and same as the phys ed class. We really stress, cooperation. That's really, really important.
So the athletic program at the high school runs off the principle where we want to get as many students as possible participating in sport. And so we have 143 students registered at the high school. And of those 143, 73% of those students are participating in a sport team at the high school. And so we're really proud that we have that high of a participation in such a small school.
I play golf, I do skiing and play soccer.
I'm on the basketball team and the soccer team.
I am on the soccer team and volleyball.
I play basketball and am on the snowboarding team.
I play soccer and basketball, and this year I was also on the cross-country running team as well as the track and field team.
We have 17 teams that we space out throughout the different seasons. And the goal is really just to have something for every season of play for the boys and for the girls.
We have a ton of sports teams for how small our school is in our community, with a lot of different opportunities to play different sports.
You get to be on team, go on trips with all your friends, get to compete at provincial levels sometimes, and stay healthy.
Well, it's not so much important for all kids to play sports, but it's really important that all kids are involved in active play. So it doesn't necessarily have to be organized sports, but we do want to encourage just lifelong movement. In cooperation with the sporting and the athletics of the school, we also have a very well-established physical education program in the school. So every student has to take phys ed from grade 8 to 10, and then we have a senior phys ed program of 11 and 12.
In terms of the phys ed program, we're not that traditional in what we emphasize. We're not run 5 miles every day at the start of class and we're going to make you do left-handed layups until your arm falls off or any silly stuff like that. We really emphasize the fun and participation nature in our PE classes. And when you start with kids that are quite active to start with, because they have to be in this community, and you make something fun, then you tend to get a lot of kids that want to participate and be involved in school sports.
I've actually made so many friends going through sports because every time you're on a team, you always talk to other people. It's definitely a really good social aspect too for sports.
We go to provincials every year with the ski team, and that's always a ton of fun. Meet people on opposing teams and make new friends out of town. Hang out at some cool ski hills.
What I noticed most when I first came to this community was that there's a real culture of athletics, whether it be organized sport or just the individual pursuit of active, healthy living. And we have both of those in this community. We always have students that are out playing in parks, down at the beach, bike riding, mountain biking, skiing, downhill skiing, cross-country skiing.
The fitness level is definitely higher than it is in most secondary schools. They talk about obesity rates in high schools at 20%. At our school, I would say it's probably closer to 5 to 7%. And that's a direct function of their activity.
I personally do a lot of running and I always go in competitions, and it's really easy here because you have so many beautiful places to run, and it just never gets boring. You just don't want to stop.
I take basketball very seriously and shoot in the morning and after school all the time. And most of the kids on the team take basketball seriously.
No matter what anybody says, you can't make teams if you don't have enough kids. And it really is pointless just grabbing kids for the sake of making a team. That's not what high school athletics is about. It's about doing some training, working with teammates to develop a team, and then trying to be as competitive as you can. Not necessarily winning, but at least trying to compete on the field and be reasonable in your expectations.
This year's soccer provincials, placing 15th. It was trying at times, but you know what? We did our best and we pulled through. Anyone can win, but it takes a really bonded and special group of people to take a loss.
Rod has done such a good job of establishing Nakusp as a competitive school and being able to compete on provincial stages consistently, as well as hosting outstanding tournaments. He's built such a successful program that kids want to be a part of it. They walk down the halls and they see all of our plaques on the wall of almost consistent provincial showings. And there's a tradition there and there's a pride there.
I really love the NSS Cougars, and I feel proud when I play for them. Everyone on the team is your friend, and you know them each personally, and it's great to win with them.
Sports teams are good here because it brings everyone closer together, and we're a pretty sports-related school.
We host our tournaments. We host basketball tournaments. We host soccer tournaments. We just hosted the ski and snowboard provincials in Revelstoke. And when we host tournaments or provincial showdowns or zone playoffs, we get all of the students come out and cheer on our team. And so they may not be playing that day, but they're still out there and supporting each other. The challenges of being in a small community are mostly the isolation of where we are. We have to travel to be competitive with other teams, and they have to travel to visit us and to play games.
We've had a number of successes over the years. The most have occurred with the soccer, and that's a prime result of the minor soccer program we do have here. We get kids in soccer that do have some skill. We've won numerous Kootenay championships in both boys and girls single A soccer. We actually started the provincial tournament here. We didn't have a tier level where they could compete against similar size schools, so we started that. We have managed to play in 4 provincial finals, and we have managed to win 1 boys high school soccer championship. And we are the only Kootenay school that can say that they have a boys provincial high school soccer banner on the wall. No other Kootenay school has done that. To be able to beat the private schools with their professional coaches, their very large budgets, and all these players that had played at a very high level was quite an accomplishment, and a number of people shaking their heads when it happened.
Nakusp is actually like pretty insane because like even though we're small, we usually have like a really good athletic like outcome. Like we usually do pretty good, and people like always underestimate us and think we won't be that good, but we do like outstanding.
Probably some of the highlights are going to provincials with soccer.
For me, soccer is probably the most fun because that's like my favorite sport, and the trips are always like really enjoyable because we do the most stuff, and you just get to hang out with your friends, and that's probably like the best part.
Yesterday was the Kootenay Single A Girls Soccer Championship. We had 5 teams participating, and it was our turn to host. Our girls managed to win both their games, and they won the Kootenay Championship this year. And they have been very successful. Since the tier was started in 1998, 2007 is the only time they have not qualified for the provincial championships, which I think puts us pretty much at the top of the class in terms of the other teams in the single A tier. There may be one other school that's made it just about every year, but certainly none more than us.
Personally for me, I love being a part of sports teams because it's a chance to bond with people that you wouldn't regularly bond with. And it just brings us together in school spirit, and it's incredible. I've loved being a part of school teams, and I like being a team player, so.
Athletics are awesome because you get to stay in shape and get out and hang out with your friends while doing sports.
That's what kids need to have, is activity and have some fun at it. And if they have fun and they're active, maybe they're going to stay that way.